I prayed for guidance because I did not know what to do anymore. My name is Daniel. A few years ago, my life felt very confusing. Every morning, I woke up with worry in my heart. Every night, I went to bed with many questions in my mind. I had a job, but I was not happy. I worked hard every day, but something felt wrong. I felt tired all the time. I felt lost. I did not know what direction to take in life. At the same time, my family needed me. My father was sick. My mother worried about money. My younger sister was still in school. I wanted to help everyone, but I did not know how. One day, my manager offered me a new position. The pay was better. Many people would say yes right away. But there was a problem. The new job was in another city. If I accepted it, I would need to move far away. I would leave my family behind. For many days, I could not decide. Part of me wanted the job. Part of me wanted to stay with my family. I asked friends for advice.
One friend said, "Take the job. It is a great opportunity." Another friend said, "Stay with your family. Family is more important." Their words only made me more confused. Every day, I thought about the decision. At work, I thought about it. At home, I thought about it. While eating, I thought about it. While trying to sleep, I thought about it. The more I thought, the less clear everything became. Soon, I felt stressed and unhappy. One evening, I sat alone in my room. The house was quiet. I looked out the window at the dark sky. My heart felt heavy. Then I remembered something my grandmother often said. She always told me, when you do not know the way, pray. God sees what you cannot see. I had heard those words many times before, but that night, they felt different. I slowly got down on my knees. I closed my eyes. For a few moments, I said nothing. Then I began to pray. God, I am confused. I do not know what to do. I am afraid of making the wrong choice. Please guide me. Please show me the way. My prayer was simple. I did not use special words. I simply spoke from my heart. After I finished praying, nothing magical happened. No voice spoke from the sky. No bright light appeared. The room looked exactly the same. But something inside me changed. For the first time in many weeks, I felt calm. The problem was still there. The decision was still waiting. But the fear was smaller. I felt peace. That night, I slept better than I had slept in a long time. The next morning, I decided to keep praying. Every day, I spent a few quiet minutes with God. I prayed before work. I prayed before bed. Sometimes my prayer was only a few words. God, guide me. Other times, I shared everything in my heart. Little by little, my mind became clearer. I started to notice things I had ignored before.
I noticed how much my father needed support. I noticed how much my mother depended on me. I noticed that the new job offered more money, but it would also take me far away from people I loved. At the same time, I also noticed something else. I was afraid. Very afraid. Not only of leaving, I was also afraid of staying. I realized that fear was controlling my thoughts. Fear made every choice look wrong. fear made every road seem dangerous. One morning during prayer, a simple thought came into my mind. Trust God one step at a time. I could not stop thinking about those words. One step at a time. I did not need to know my entire future. I only needed to take the next right step. That idea gave me hope. A few days later, I visited my father. We sat together in the garden. The sun was warm. The air was peaceful. I told him everything. I told him about the job. I told him about my worries. I told him about my prayers. My father listened quietly. Then he smiled. "Daniel," he said, "sometimes we ask God to show us the whole road, but often he only shows us the next step." His words sounded very familiar, almost the same as the thought I had during prayer. At that moment, something became clear. For weeks, I had been searching for complete certainty. I wanted a perfect answer. I wanted a guarantee. But life does not always work that way. Faith means trusting God even when you cannot see everything. That day, I made my decision. I chose to stay. It was not because staying was easier. It was because I believed it was the right choice for that season of my life. I wanted to support my family. I wanted to be close to my father. I wanted to trust God's timing. After making the decision, I felt peace. Real peace. The kind of peace that stays even when life is not perfect. Of course, challenges did not disappear. We still had money problems. My father was still sick. Life was not suddenly easy. But my heart was different. I no longer felt trapped by fear. I no longer felt lost. Months passed. Then something unexpected happened. A new opportunity appeared in my own city. The work was meaningful. The people were kind. The schedule allowed me to help my family. It was a better fit than the job I almost accepted. I smiled when I received the offer. I quietly thanked God. At that moment, I understood something important. Sometimes God does not show us the answer right away. Sometimes He asks us to wait. Sometimes He asks us to trust. Sometimes He uses prayer to calm our hearts before He changes our situation. Looking back, I can see that prayer did not only help me make a decision. Prayer changed me. It taught me patience. It taught me trust. It taught me that I do not need to carry every burden alone. Whenever I face a difficult situation now, I remember those days. I remember the confusion. I remember the fear. And I remember the peace that came after prayer. Today, life still has questions. There are still hard days. There are still moments when I do not know what will happen next. But I know this. God is with me. God is guiding me. And God is with you too. Maybe you are facing a difficult decision right now. Maybe you feel lost. Maybe you are worried about your future. Maybe you are carrying a heavy burden in your heart. If that is true, do not lose hope. Take a quiet moment. Speak to God. Tell Him your fears. Tell Him your worries. Tell Him your dreams. You do not need perfect words. Just speak honestly. Then trust Him. Trust that He sees what you cannot see. Trust that He knows the road ahead. Trust that His plan is greater than your fear. The lesson I learned is simple but powerful. When life feels confusing, prayer brings clarity.
When fear becomes strong, faith brings peace. When the road seems dark, God can guide the next step. Never give up. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Keep moving forward. The answer may not come immediately, but God is working, even when you cannot see it. And one day, just as it happened to me, you may look back and realize that God was guiding you all along. So hold on to hope. Be patient. Be grateful. Trust God's timing. And remember that even in your hardest moments, you are never alone. God knows your path, and He will help you find your way.